Donald Trump pledged. I can't like. All right, so Donald Trump announced that he is going to be opening up accounts for babies born over the next 3 years, starting in June, I think July 4th of 2025. They're going to deposit like $2,000 into this account. It effectively operates as an IRA. It is a low risk investment account that these children will be able to access when they're 18. So they're able to, I don't know, pay for college, start a business, potentially purchase a home, although I don't believe that this is going to have anywhere near that purchasing power. But one thing you're going to notice is that the details on this are very scarce. And it's because this is just simply another fucking scam. Donald Trump is not going to give any of these children any money. No one is going to see any of this money when they're 18 years old. This is literally just a money laundering scheme. This is his version of a mattress firm. It is so that wealthy assholes like Michael Dell and his creepy fucking wife can either give him a perceived W or donate to, I don't know, his fucking agenda to some capacity. I legitimately think that at a certain point in probably like 12 years or so, if Donald Trump is still alive, and he most likely will be because he is an evil, disgusting pig, he's just going to make off with all this money. I wholeheartedly believe that. This man has no shame. This man is a bona fide scammer. This is the same guy who did a crypto rug pull on his supporters 2 days before he was inaugurated. He's sold Bibles, he's sold watches, he's sold sneakers, anything to make a fucking dollar. But for whatever reason, his base just does not give a fuck. And people are trying to paint this as some sort of massive philanthropic, this massive philanthropic achievement by the Dell family. Michael Dell is worth $150 billion. If you think that he's doing that altruistically, I have beachfront property to sell you in Indiana. No billionaire is giving away $6 billion, let alone $6 billion to the poor. Michael Dell, if you're watching this and you're one of the people who qualifies for these accounts, Michael Dell fucking hates you. He wants you to be liquefied. He is disgusted by the fact that you live in a zip code where the median income is less than $150,000. If Michael Dell actually gave a fuck about building a better future for these children, he would be anti-capitalist. He would be a socialist. He would be a Marxist. He would be advocating for tax policy reform. He would be advocating to be taxed at a higher rate, both on capital gains, on his income, and on his business. He would also be advocating to close all of the tax loopholes. He would also be advocating for a more robust IRS so that people like Michael Dell could actually wind up contributing more money to the tax system. Let's go ahead. Let's look at a little bit of this press conference. We're not going to watch any news commentary on this because it's just so fucking bad. The billionaire bootlicking by the mainstream media is just, it sickens me. It makes me want to throw the fuck up.
Okay.
We are, however, going to watch this on 1.25
Well, thank you very much, and we're
it's
thrilled to be joined by one of the most
11
successful
minutes long.
business leaders and people anywhere in the country.
People.
Whether it's technology, no matter what business you're talking about, there's really nobody quite like him. He's chairman and CEO of Dell Technologies. Make great everything, great computers, great everything.
They make
Michael
great
Dell,
everything.
very much of a legend, who's here with
great
his
pocket pussies.
really exciting announcement. It's so amazing, and much more importantly, he's here with his wonderful wife, Susan, and they have a special relationship. I think I can say that, really. It's very nice. I don't see too much of it. I see the opposite, but I don't see too much. I have two special people, and I've seen that. I've known that for a long time, and I think it's a tremendous thing. Also, the CEO of Altamir Capital, Brad Gerstner. Where are you, Brad? Brad Gerstner is a terrific fellow who's very much involved in this incredible thing that we're doing today, along with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Commerce and Science and Transportation, Ted Cruz, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith. Fed chair is here too. I don't know. Are we allowed to say that? Potential. He's a respected person, that I can tell you. American children through the new Trump.
Okay, fucking
And
fine.
this afternoon, Michael and Susan Dell are committing to one of the largest private donations in American history, which will directly benefit the next generation of American children through the new Trump Accounts program that we created in our One Big Beautiful Bill. And Michael and Susan came to see me along with Brad, and they said, this is an idea. And I said, I think, it sounded.
Before we even get into the specifics of the Trump account, Zoran was right when he said they are going to spend more money than I want to tax them. Because why don't they just advocate for systemic change? This is why, if you get duped by this, you're a silly goose. Michael Dell, if he was actively trying to improve the futures of all of these children, would be advocating for not only all of the tax policies that I had mentioned, but also free college, for example. Free trade schools. Of course, none of these are mentioned in this press conference. If you made college free, you would be able to extend these same opportunities to these children, and it would just overall be a much more worthy cause to celebrate. You could also advocate for where am I going with this? Oh yeah, and of course, like adjusting the housing market, free college, things of that nature. But of course, none of that is going to happen because this is all purely aesthetic, and it's aesthetic at best. At worst, it is a money laundering scheme.
It's just so good and so unique. But that's why he's been so successful, and they've been so successful in life and in business because they're unique. Trump Accounts will be the first, I guess you could say, real trust funds for every American child, allowing family members, employers, corporations, generous donors to contribute money that will be invested and grow over the course of a child's life to be used for their benefit after they turn 18. So in other words, these are children that are going to, an investment's going to be made. That investment's going to.
These are children that they are going to be born. They are going to live for 18 years, and then they are going to be 18 years old. That's right, folks. If you take your age when you are 0, add 18, that is your age when you are 18 years old. I like the idea of this being a radical fucking reform. Like, dude, Denmark does this. Denmark has a public fund that has money in it because of their nationalized energy sector, for example. So any profit or any revenue that they generate off of oil, it goes back into this public fund and then can be used for whatever the fuck. I don't know the specifics of this sovereign wealth fund, but that's just another way that you could improve the lives of like everybody. I don't understand. I'm not saying fuck them kids because that'd be silly of me, but if you're going to do something for a small part of the population, why don't you also extend that same benefit to everybody else who is currently alive right now, who is living, who is breathing? These children are barely fucking sperm in their father's balls at this point.
Continue to grow, we hope, right? We hope. And but it will, and they'll feel like Michael Dell someday. But at 18, they'll have a lot of money, a lot more money than they would have had, and potentially a lot of money. But these accounts will track the overall stock market and will be 100% private property controlled by the child's guardians. In honor of America's 250th anniversary, the Dells are announcing today that they are giving 25 million American children $250 each to save and to invest in their personal Trump account. Now that's the equivalent of $6.25 billion. In other words, to put it succinctly, Michael and Susan are giving $6.25 billion in total, and as a total contribution. That's big stuff. I don't care who you are. That's big. Come here, give me a hand. Let me have a little of that luck rub off. That's fantastic, Susan. These gifts will be available to the first 25 million children aged 10 and under the zip codes where their median income is $150,000 or less. So they're giving them to children that won't be born particularly rich, and they're going to be hopefully very rich someday. This will give millions of dollars, millions of children, middle-class families, a stake in American prosperity, a benefit from.
I know that there's been a lot of speculation about his health recently. I was gonna talk about it, especially since he fucking fell asleep at a cabinet meeting the other day, and he had this MRI done that he doesn't remember what the fuck it was for. But he's like really struggling to speak in this press conference. Obviously, he's 80 fucking years old. That's not lost on me. I have 2 eyes and 2 ears. I know that old people are not exactly the most capable at doing fucking anything, but there have already been multiple misstatements and multiple words that he's slurred, which is also concerning because he's literally reading off of a fucking script. Like, I fuck up words all the time, okay? I'm also doing it live. I'm trying to formulate my thoughts and then immediately vomit them out to you in a coherent manner, but he's just like, he's not well, I don't think.
The rising stock market and a better shot at the American dream. It really gives them a shot at the American dream. Michael and Susan, I want to thank you for this extraordinary act of kindness and patriotism and charity. This is truly one of the most generous acts in the history of our country. I mean, you don't hear about things like that, and we got to let people know he doesn't want and she doesn't care about that, but I do. I think when somebody does that, you got to let them know about it. As I mentioned, this gift is being made possible by the largest tax cuts in American history, which our Republican majorities passed earlier this year, and the Speaker worked so hard, and John Thune. And
I do want to highlight something because as an adult like I am, I do have an investment account. I have a Roth IRA that I don't contribute to as much as I should, but whether you have a Roth IRA, whether you have a 401k, like these kinds of accounts are good, and parents set up these kinds of accounts for their children all the time. But typically, when you have an account like this, you make recurring deposits into it up to X amount of dollars. I think for this, it's a max of $5,000 per year. I'm not sure if there's going to be any recurring contribution from the Trump administration or from the Dell family, but using a compound interest calculator, if you take this initial $250 deposit and estimate a return of 4%, which is modest, and these are low risk, so it could potentially be lower, over 14 years, you're going to have over 18 years, you're going to have a total balance of $512.99. Even if we do $100 a month, let's say the next 4 presidents over the next 18 years give, or it would be, I guess it would be the max is 3 presidents. 3 times 8 is, no, that's still too many. The next 2 presidents, whatever the fuck. Even if they contributed $100, that would be a total balance of less than $3,100 in this account by the time you're able to withdraw it.
Jason and all of them, every one of them. Ted Cruz is with us. He worked so hard getting that done. That was the biggest, most consequential bill they say ever passed.
Wow.
And if they remember, Michael, they thought we had to put that in 12 to 14 bills. I said, I don't know if we can hold it that long with the Democrats. And we said, let's try doing it once. So we did, and people were surprised, but we got it done. So I congratulate you guys. Amazing job. Under that bill, the federal government will also automatically be making a one-time seed contribution of $1,000 into the tax-deferred Trump accounts for every newborn U.S. citizen, fulfilling a promise I made in the 2024 campaign. Trump accounts should grow to be worth many thousands of dollars by the time the child is 18, and even more by the time they are 20 or even 30 years old. We think it's going to be something really unique and really special. We hope many others will follow Michael and Susan's example and make their own contributions. I'll be doing it too, to the next generation, including businesses.
$2,564.97 if we do an initial deposit of $1,250 at a 4% return annually. At a 4% return annually for 18 years. Oh, my bad. $2,532 because I was doing the compound frequency monthly instead of annually. Kids, get ready to buy a fucking house with that money.
Churches, philanthropists, family members, and parents themselves. I think we're going to have a lot of people, Susan. I think a lot of people are going to be contribute. A lot of people are watching us right now. They might not be $6 billion plus, but there'll be a lot. There aren't too many people that are in the 6 billion range, but there'll be a lot. A lot of friends of mine have already told me they're going to contribute a lot of money, and a lot of them are going to leave a lot of money in their wills, so that's very important. And as you watch us today, I hope you'll be doing that. Contributions to Trump accounts will also be a great benefit for employers to offer their workers, which they'll be able to do tax-free. It's tax-free. We expect hundreds of major companies to announce plans to contribute to these accounts in the coming months, and we've had tremendous interest in that regard. So the Trump accounts will be available starting on July 4th next year. And Michael and Susan, to you again, it's an amazing act of just incredible everything. I mean, the life you've led to be able to do this, even to be able to...
I wonder if there's a part of them that's doing this as a way to increase the birth rates. All of these right-wing freaks, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, they're concerned about the declining birth rates across the world, but of course they only give a shit about the West. And I'm sure Donald Trump knows that there are going to be people who start fucking just to get that Trump check. But I'm curious as to how many people are going to are going to get freaky because of this, because it's going to be more than one. I am certain of that. It might even be a few hundred. And we're going to have part of a generation of children who are born simply because their parents wanted that Trump account. They wanted that $250 from Michael and Susan Dell.
Even a lot of people have a good heart, but they can't give $6,250,000,000. And Michael, probably knowing you, it's not the last of it either. It's not the last. But on behalf of the United States of America, I want to thank you both, and I want to thank all three. But I want to thank you both because you've been friends of mine, and it's a spectacular couple. This is really an amazing people. These are unique. And I'd like to have you come up and say a couple of words and tell us what you have in mind, because what you have in mind is good. Thank you.
Jump scare. Michael Dell's wife. I'm sorry. I really don't want to be mean to her, but everyone else has fucking said something about her. All right, let me say it. Sorry. Maybe I'm not as woke as I thought I was. She's frightening.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor to be with you here in the White House. And, you know, when you passed the Invest America Act on July 4th of this year, we were really inspired to see that happen. And this is something that, Brad had first mentioned to us in 2021. We thought it was a great idea then, and it's amazing that it happened. And we also saw that this act would become a platform. And we believe the smartest investment that we can make is an investment in children. And this act has created a platform for families and friends and communities and companies and philanthropists to contribute to these accounts to create a savings and opportunity and hope and prosperity for tens of millions of children in this country. And Susan and I are super excited to announce our $6.25 billion gift to 25 million American children, 10 and under, and our gift will cover most of the children that are 10 and under that are not part of the federal program, the 0 to 2-year-olds, and who also live in zip codes where the median income is $150,000 or less. And I have spoken with a number of other wealthy Americans.
I can't comprehend this. Why can't you just expand the federal program then? Why can't you tax people like this and garner even more money from them and expand a fucking program that already exists. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And what's also melting my brain is that people continually praise this philanthropy. And I'm being cynical here. I know I'm being cynical, but Michael Dell is not doing this out of the goodness of his heart. There is a quid pro quo happening. I know for a fact. I was not born fucking yesterday. Michael Dell is getting some sort of kickback on this.
Philanthropists, and we are confident that others will join us because we all understand the incredible impact that a gift like this can have on the lives of young Americans. So again, it's a great honor for us to be here to be able to announce this. You know, when I was 8 years old, I got a passbook savings account and I had, I think about $8 in it. And you go to the savings and loan and you give them a quarter and they'd stamp your account. And I got to see the power of compound interest early in my life. And that has brought me here to this moment. And hopefully will inspire that kind of opportunity for many more young people in this country. So again, thank you for the privilege of being here.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Susan. So beautiful. Thank you very much. Susan, would you like to say something?
I'd just like to say how excited we are to be a part of this. We believe that.
Boring. Don't care. There's only 17 seconds left or 27 seconds left in the video. She's going to say nothing of substance. Can we just tax the rich? Can we just abolish billionaires, please? Nobody needs $150 billion. I didn't even know that Michael Dell had bread like that because I thought Dell computers were kind of whack. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think they were all that. Although I'm sure that a lot of his wealth is propped up by the fucking AI bubble and Nvidia and Microsoft and all that. But could you imagine if Michael Dell didn't have a fucking $150 billion, if instead he only had like 999,999,999? Imagine what you could do with all of that money that you sucked out of his portfolio. You could do more than just give $250 to 25 million kids. You could pay for full-blown fucking college. You could pay for not only undergrad, but also graduate school. And if they wanted to be like a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer or some sort of prestigious profession that is prohibitively expensive, they could do that. But nah, instead they're just going to get $250 fucking dollars that they're probably not even going to get because in 18 years, everyone's going to fucking forget about this.